Well, hello. It's been a minute. Had some things to take care of, but I am back. And some time ago, I did a shootout on Ernie Ball strings. I did the regular Slinkies, then I did the regular Slinky Cobalts, and then I did the regular Slinky Paradigms. And I thought that it might be interesting if we did the same thing with acoustic strings. Now, the Ernie Ball acoustics, I do have a couple sets of those, but I really wanted to go through all the different kinds of acoustic strings I could really get my hands on, all the different stuff anyway. Everybody knows what Martins sound like. They sound great. But some of the other stuff that isn't maybe quite as popular, quite as prevalent, I wanted to give my hand a chance to get my hands on. Usually, my acoustic string of choice is these guys, Elixirs. I use the Polyweb 12 to 53, 80-20 bronze. I've got apparently battery acid in my hands for sweat, so if I play with any degree of frequency, I rust through a set of strings very quickly. With these Elixirs, I can get about 2 weeks of full-time playing, so 10 shows, about 40 hours worth of playing probably. It sounds like a lot, but when you have to go through them as quickly as I do, sometimes it gets a little silly. So I thought that we'd give some of these other string brands and string gauges and things a chance. So let's get right into it. So as I said, I use the Elixir 12 to 53 Polyweb 80-20 bronze, and that's what's on this guitar right now. This is a Seagull Maritime SWS. So this is what it sounds like with my trusty Elixirs on it. This is one of the sets I was most excited to try of all the ones that I got. These are the Clear Tone EQ. Now these are 12 to 53, and what makes these strings unique is that while they're not coated nor even treated, every string, with the exception of the top two steel strings, is a different alloy. And this is supposed to bring out the different tonal characteristics of each string to give the guitar the best possible sound. The lowest E string is a copper bronze. The A and D strings are both phosphor bronze, and the G string is an 80-20 bronze. As I said, the B and the high E are both standard plain old steel strings. But again, it's supposed to bring out the tonal characteristics of each string and make the guitar sound the best that it can. So let's hear what it sounds like. Alright, so I've got the guitar all strung up with the Clear Tone EQs. Now once again, the low E is copper bronze. The A and the D strings are both phosphor bronze. The G string is 80-20, and the high E and high B are both plain steel. Let's hear what it sounds like. So this time around, we have the DR Dragon Skin hard-coated acoustic guitar strings. These are phosphor bronze. Usually I'm not a big fan of phosphor bronze. I much prefer 80-20, but I thought I'd give them a shot. What the heck. I got 80-20 were available. I don't think they make these in 80-20, but I could be wrong about that. So the interesting thing about these is that the top two strings, the E and the B strings, are they're bronze strings. They're not traditional steel strings. They're bronze, and they're coated just like the other four. So let's see how they sound. So here they are on my Seagull acoustic, as always, DR Dragon Skin hard-coated acoustic strings. So today, we're taking a look at the Ernie Ball Paradigm 80-20 bronze acoustic strings. 80-20 is my alloy, it's the one I prefer. I tried the Paradigm electric strings, I did a video about that. I'm going to try and put the link right about there. If you can go, you can go take a look at that if you like. I enjoyed the Paradigm electric strings. They were very loud. They were punchy through the mid-range, and apparently they're break resistant. But I was able to cut them. So what does that say? I don't know. But we're gonna try these out. I'm excited to try these, just to see what they sound like. They are not coated. That is one thing. They're 12 to 54, ultra resistant. Ultra break resistant rather, and ultra durable. It's two ultras in the same place. I don't know about that, but we're gonna give these a shot and see what they sound like. Okay, we've got the old Seagull strung up with the Paradigm 80/20 bronze acoustic strings by Ernie Ball. 12 to 54, not coated. Let's hear what they sound like. So today, Diodario EXP. These are the phosphor bronze 12 gauge strings. I know they make these in 80/20 bronze, but in the spirit of trying new things, I went with the phosphor bronze. Coated strings, they're, as far as I'm aware, and as far as I can tell, and all that other stuff, these are Elixir's biggest competition in the coated string markets. But probably between these and the Martin lifespans. So let's hear what they sound like. As always, we've got the trusty Seagull strung up, and again, today it is the Diodario EXP phosphor bronze strings. Let's hear what they sound like. This time around, Ernie Ball, Everlast. Guys, dig it. I like Ernie Ball strings. I always have. Those are the ones that I use on almost all of my electric guitars. I like the Paradigms. I like the Cobalts. I tried the Paradigms. We just did a little bit on them with the acoustics. But I was most excited to try the Everlast because these are an honest-to-God coated string from Ernie Ball. And if I can switch, I will switch because Ernie Ball, you guys are doing the Lord's work, and I love you. Let's hear what they sound like. Ernie Ball, Everlast, coated acoustic strings. 80/20 bronze, 12 to 54. I dropped the pack. That's upsetting. 12 to 54, 80/20 bronze, coated acoustic strings. Let's hear what they sound like. It's been a very long but very telling experiment with acoustic strings. And we've got one set left, and they are another set of clear tones. These are coated. They claim to be 36% louder. I don't know if that's correct or not. And actually, they're treated, not coated. I misspoke. That's my fault. These are 12 to 53, 80/20 bronze, which is my alloy. It is my gauge. I'm excited to hear what these clear tones sound like. So let's get to it. All right, we are all strung up with the clear tone treated strings. Acoustic clear tone treated strings. 80/20 bronze, 12 to 53. Let us hear what they sound like. Wow, it took about 8 weeks to get all of those strings tested and to make up my mind how I felt about them and, how they felt in the moment and make up my mind. we'll just start at the top and we'll go down. The Clear Tone EQ. They felt good. They actually felt very good. They had a rather short lifespan. I think I got a show and a half, so 5-6 hours worth of playing time out of them, which isn't very much. They had a very, very dark tone. Most of the strings were not 80/20 bronze. They were phosphor or copper bronze, and I just didn't do much for me. I like a brighter tone. We also had some tuning issues with the clear tones. They came up to pitch quickly, but they did not stay there. Moving on to the Dragon Skin. The Dragon Skin hurt. Like, they were physically painful. They say hard-coated, and boy, they ain't kidding. They also felt very brittle. There was a lot of tension even on a set of 12s, and I felt like I was going to break them if I played too hard. They held tune very, very, very well, actually. They came up to pitch, stretched them out once, and they were fine. So they got that going for them. They were a very dark string. They were phosphor bronze, so that darkens them up a little bit, but I think the coating just deadened those strings. They just did not have a lot of life in them. Speaking of life, I don't think I got a whole show out of those before they died, and I just changed them. They were they were all right. I've got an extra set as a backup in case I need them. Ernie Ball Paradigms. Now, these were not coated, but they were 80/20 bronze. The Paradigms were not coated. I loved those. They felt great. They sounded amazing. They held pitch really, really well. And they had what I'm calling a standard life. So, I got a couple of days out of them. Not quite as long as the coated elixirs or the I think the we're gonna get to it a little bit later. The EXPs did okay, but the Paradigms, if I'm gonna switch, that's what it's going to be too. But they were about the same price as the elixirs, and if I'm gonna spend that much money on strings, I'd like them to last a little bit longer. EXPs, speaking of them, I've used these before. I've used the 80/20 bronze before. I had never used the phosphors, so I thought I'd try those out. They were okay. That's all I'm saying. They were fine. They were okay. They did what they were supposed to do. They lasted a fairly long time. They were coated, and the coating was good, and they lasted as long as I needed them to last. They were dark, but that's phosphor bronze. That's their thing. And they didn't sound bad in any way. They sounded great. I just like a slightly brighter tone. The Everlast strings. These were the Ernie Ball coated Everlast strings. I was super excited about the Everlast strings, and I ended up not thrilled, honestly. They didn't last as long as the Paradigms did. In fact, they were pretty short, the lifespan of them. They felt a little rough. When they were new, they sounded awesome. They had a very bright tone when they were brand new, but the brand new didn't last very long. The Paradigms, I liked the Paradigms so much more, and they were, they were not coated, so go figure. And lastly, we had the clear tone treated strings. They were fine. They sounded okay. They felt okay. They lasted okay. They were okay. They were okay. They were just okay. I didn't like them. I didn't hate them. If I'm being honest, I've played a bunch of clear tone sets, and I haven't been super excited about any of them. As it stands right now, I'm sticking with my elixir strings because they're readily available at a lot of shops near my house, including Musicland. Check them out at musiclandstore.com. If they can get me some of the Paradigms, I'm not above making the switch. Ernie Ball, as I said in the demos, you are doing the Lord's work, and I do love everything you do. The Everlasts sounded awesome. the paradigm sounded better. That's how good they were. So, in conclusion, sticking with the elixirs, but I really enjoyed this experiment. I love trying out new stuff like this. I don't know if you can call me a gearhead when it comes to strings. I don't know if that's a thing, but I love trying out new pedals, trying out new strings, even new picks, anything, just to mess around. And I had a great time doing this. We'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to get some more content up pretty soon. As a matter of fact, it is now 2019, my friends. And if you were following my Facebook page, you saw that in 2019, I have resolved, although I don't really like to call it a resolution, but I have decided to put up a new song every single day. It's going to be a cover or an original. Could be either one of those. Could be with friends. Could be by myself. Could be a crappy Facebook Live video. Could be something much more produced. Time will tell. But we're 2 days in, and so far I'm 2 for 2, which for me is a big deal. So stick with those. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those other places, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much.